first of all, congratulations to you on your new addition to your family. Tell us about your baby boy. He's only, what, 3 months old now?
Yes. So my son Kenna is now 3.5, going on 4 months already. It's crazy. I'm a mom of 3. Never imagined. But it's exciting. It's so much fun. It's a job that I love doing already. It's a handful, but something about it just gives me reason for everything. So I'm enjoying motherhood, and of course I have a great husband by my side. He's a great parent as well.
And I know with your pregnancy with Isiah and your postpartum, you were very open about your hair loss that you suffered from after giving birth. So now you're partnering with Nioxin. Why did you want to team up with them?
Well, I wanted to team up with Nioxin to kind of just to bring confidence to women who are experiencing hair loss, especially postpartum hair loss. It's something that I never expected I would experience when I had my daughter Violet and when I had my son Isiah. I thought I was gonna get by and it wasn't gonna happen again, and it did. It did. So within months after having a baby, you're already dealing with postpartum everything. On top of that, I was part of the 50% of women that actually have hair loss, and it's not just shedding, it's actually a lot of hair. And for a lot of women who are experiencing it, I just want them to know that there is a solution, there is a treatment that can help fix that. And I'm using Nioxin now for my 3rd son. Well, not for him, but for me, now that I'm on my 3rd child, as a preventative measure, so that my hair can stay full and can stay thick and I experience less shedding. So I'm really happy that I'm using it now.
Of course, as a new mom, I'm sure you have so much going on as it is. That's probably the last thing you want to think about is dealing with this hair loss. Was it discouraging for you at all? And how has this really taken away that, fear or burden on you?
Absolutely. It was very discouraging at first. Especially I think I was the first the first girl out of my girlfriends that had a child. So nobody warned me about this before. And when it did happen, it was very discouraging because I didn't know what was happening. And, I turned to a lot of people, just like friends, and they didn't know what I was talking about. And I finally turned to the internet and I was like, okay, there's all these different methods. There's so many things on the internet. You just don't know what's right, what's true. And I eventually went to my gynecologist and I spoke to my gynecologist, and he mentioned, there's several things that are, that help improve, and also the reasons why you're experiencing hair loss. And one, it's common when it comes to postpartum. There's good healthy diet. There's, exercise, water, sleep, all of those things. And stressing less is going to help you to keep your hair and to have less hair loss. But on top of that, it's taking care of your scalp. Taking care of your scalp, I think that's where it all kind of it lands, is right there. It's just keeping a clean scalp so that your hair can have the growth and it can all, grow out beautifully, and you can have that dense, beautiful hair once again.
All right, let's get back to those kiddos. Like you said, you have 3 now. 2 under 2. What is that like?
Oh man, it's the way it sounds. 2 under 2. It's worse than, no, just kidding. Actually, I think I'm holding on to these moments because I hear, there's the terrible 2s and then there's the terrible 3s. So these moments right now are easy. I'm loving my 1.5-year-old Isiah. He's just so fun, and we have this great relationship and this great connection. He just turns to mommy and daddy for everything. He says, "Mama, Papa," and it's just like, it's so cute. Sometimes you feel like there's not enough of you to be able to give because there are other children. And then I have my youngest and my oldest, which is Violet. Violet is so helpful. She helps out with both of the brothers, and she's just also like going through her preteen phase. She's 11 years old, and I'm so happy. Like, she still likes me, and we're fun, and we have fun together, and we have our laughs. And then Kenna, multitasking and handling all these 3 different relationships. It's interesting because it just goes to prove like you have many hats as a mom to wear, and that you can wear them all. And sometimes it might be challenging, but it's a challenge that we're up for. And sometimes you have no choice, but you can do it.
You and Violet look like you have so much fun, by the way. I was watching your TikToks and you 2 just look like the best of friends. It's so adorable. Like you were saying, she's so excited and, loves the boys. Is she really helpful with them, or what has her interaction been like with them?
Violet is so helpful. I honestly, she's been such a blessing to, being a mom of two under two. Because, I think at 10 years old, she kicked in and she just decided to, like, I had a conversation with her one day and said, hey, just so you know, mommy's gonna, when the babies come, I'm gonna need your help. And she said, Mom, I got you. I'm gonna help you out. And she actually committed to it, and she really has. She's done a good job. She helps with the diapers. She helps clean up the diapers. She helps feeding the babies, and then just playing with them. Sometimes they just need somebody to entertain them.
Oh, that's great. And almost a teenager, Mom. What do you think of that?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to think about it. Actually, I said that to her. I keep calling her preteen, and she's like, Mom, I'm not a teenager. I'm not a preteen. I'm like, okay, thank you for saying that. Because you're not, and let's not move too fast. We'll get there eventually. And I love it. This phase in her life is a very special time, because then when teenager time comes, I don't know what to expect. And we're different. We can be hormonal. We can be all types of things when we're teenagers. But I'm really holding on to these moments right now.
Of course, cherish it while you can. Well, but you're also not slowing down, even though you're a new mom, you have two under two, and you have Violet. You've been so busy. I saw that your new Netflix film was just released on July 29th, Resort to Love. And it was #1 on Netflix. What has the response to that been like?
Gosh, it's exciting. I mean, the response has been overwhelming. The support has been awesome, because there's so many people. I mean, I was even surprised with all the reviews everyone's giving me. I'm like, really? Are you just being nice to me? Like, I mean, I know my work, and I see my work, and I'm happy with what I've done, but it's awesome to hear it from other people that are entertained. They laughed. They, had moments of, romance. Some people even told me they cried a little, which I'm like, really? I'm like, and that they like the acting and the music. So this is everything that I love to embody in my career, is the music, the acting, and comedy. So I'm happy it's going so well on Netflix, and that everybody's loving Resort to Love.
Is it true that you were actually pregnant with Kenna while you were filming that and had to hide it? What was that like?
Well, I didn't have to hide it, but I chose to hide it. My third pregnancy. Yeah, I was about, how many months pregnant? I think I started off at like 3.5 or 4 months pregnant when I started shooting the movie. And by the end of it, I was about 6 months pregnant. And it was interesting trying to cover it up. I honestly didn't want to tell everybody on the cast, because I didn't want to have any special treatment. I just wanted to be able to come to work, be myself, do my thing. And I didn't want anyone to feel guilty about like how much work or what I was doing. So I just kept it to myself for a while. But it come to find out, my husband let the cat out of the bag and told a couple of the actors early on, and I didn't know about it. So I think they knew. And I'm kind of happy they did, because I was a little self-conscious every now and then. I would put on an outfit and it didn't look the same as when I first put it on like 2 months before. But somehow I was able to cover it to a certain degree, or I learned my angles.
What did your coworkers say when they did find out? Were they shocked, excited? What was the reaction?
My coworkers were definitely shocked and happy. They were super happy for me. There's nothing better than seeing a new baby coming into the world. And now I was exposing my belly and showing them, like, guys, I've been pregnant this whole time. So they were so happy. And when I was on the island in Mauritius, I had my son Isiah and my husband there. So we're connecting with Isiah. So they were happy to know there was another baby on the way.
So cute. I saw you post a hilarious video of the blooper reel from the set. Were there any fun or funny moments, or even like uh-oh or whoops moments that happened that stand out to you still?
There were a lot of fun moments. As you can see, that's why I love blooper reels when I do a film or television show. But I'd have to say one of my favorite funny parts was probably Sinqua Walls. He had like carried me and the guy that was drowning, was the Instagram guy, out of the water. And like, he's got those big muscles, and he's like carrying 2 people, me, actually maybe 2.5, because I was pregnant. So pregnant me, and of course this guy on his back, and he has to lift us out of the sand from the water and walk us out of the water. And let's just say there was maybe 2 times he fell over. It was pretty funny, because we had a good drop.
That's awesome. And I saw also that you have your own show now that you're doing. You're getting really personal on that show for everyone. Why was that something that you wanted to do? And why are you being so open on that show as well?
If you're talking about, I think Really Truly Maybe. So I do have,
Maybe.
maybe, which is my YouTube my YouTube show. I kind of like, I wanted to do it. It was like kind of an access point between me and my fans. My Violet, especially, she's highlighted a lot on the show. Same thing with my mom. I think our family's interesting. I think they're funny and fun. And there's a lot of stuff that we do behind the scenes that a lot of people are interested in. And I think also just the connections that I have between my family and I kind of improves upon other connections between other parents and their kids, or, you know, and doing things. We do a lot of things in my house is like a normal thing. So we're like, why not do it on YouTube, and let's do it for fun. And just like, I don't know, I think it was something especially we started during the pandemic, and then it continued on since then.
I saw Violet makes a lot of cameos in those. Is she going to follow in mom's footsteps maybe?
Maybe, you know, I think Violet's got a lot of charisma, a lot of personality. So she potentially, whatever she wants to be, especially if there's a lot of in the entertainment field, if she ever cared to do it, I think she would be really good at it.
I saw that video of her singing a little bit. She looks like she's ready to go. Okay, so you also are a business owner. Let's just keep piling the titles up. Mom of three, business owner, actress, singer, dancer, you got them all. Tell us about Beignet Box, and why did you want to take on opening a business during all the other things you have going on?
Well, I've always had the interest of being an entrepreneur since the early start of my career. I would see people like P. Diddy and J-Lo and 50 Cent and like people in the music business become these huge entrepreneurs. And I was like, someday I'm going to do that too. Like, I don't want to just be hired. I want to create my own brand. So through the years, anytime I had like a passion or a love for something else, like, you know what, I can potentially actually create a career off of this, or a business. And my best friend and I, Elizabeth, we were roommates, and we said, someday we want to do a business together. We lived in Studio City. We're like, we should open a bakery. We should do something with sweets. And she's from Louisiana. And we're like, bling, almost like a light bulb went off. And we're like, beignets, let's bring beignets to LA. And so that's where that started. And I mean, it was a process, getting the business on its feet, but especially as two women, really like making it happen. But I'm so thankful we were able to do it. We saw it through. And now we have two beignet Benzes, food trucks. We have a kiosk in Glendale and a cafe in Studio City, and it continues to grow. So it's exciting. People love beignets and they love cafe au lait.
And as a mom, how do you feel about having, I'm sure your boys obviously aren't registering that yet, but it's for Violet something I'm sure that is just so impressionable on her to see her mom being this amazing businesswoman. Is that something that you always look to and are excited about too?
That excites me to be a good example for my children. I think growing up, I was the oldest child of three sisters, and I already was rooted into like my parents telling me like, you're the example for your little sisters, so you have to be very responsible. So basically I was always trying to do everything good, and then they got to do all the bad stuff, and I was like, what? I was trying to, but you know what? It paid off. It paid off, because that kind of personality and that kind of mentality brought me into just wanting to overall. I know that I'm somebody's watching and they're getting inspired and it's making their life better. And even better when it's your own children. I think I love to be a good example for them.
And you are inspiring other moms and women as well. I've seen you post about feeling sexy when you're pregnant, feeling sexy post-pregnancy. Why do you want to share that side of you? And how are you trying to encourage other women that are new moms like yourself?
I think it's important to encourage women to feel comfortable in their own skin. Our bodies go through so many changes throughout the years, our hair, our skin, everything. And to be able to accept those things and to say, hey, I love this about myself. I love that. And you can do whatever you want. You can work out, you can do whatever you want to make yourself feel good. I love to encourage women to, no matter what, like, do what makes you happy. So whether if you want to get dressed up a little sexy and dip it low, pick it up slow, then go for it. Or if your hair's thinning, you can go on and use some Nioxin and spray that in your hair and let your hair grow again.
I love that. Thank you so much, Christina. It's been great to talk to you.
You appreciate it.